The snow kept falling between them, like a silent witness to murder. Mateo Reyes stood frozen in the blizzard, the master ledger drive heavy in his frozen hand. Just 10 feet away, Patricia Holloway smiled calmly, surrounded by armed men. On her phone screen, his grandmother Sofia sat tied to a chair, with a gun pressed to her temple. The timer counted down mercilessly. 10 minutes. That was all the time he had left to decide whether to save his grandmother or destroy the woman who had ruined his family. Patricia's voice cut through the storm, cold and clear. Time is running out, Mateo. Hand over the drive, or watch your bloodline end tonight. The wind howled, guns were raised, and in that frozen moment, everything hung by a thread. Mateo stared at Patricia through the falling snow. His body was numb from cold, but his mind burned with rage. "Release her first," he shouted. "Then you get the drive." Patricia laughed softly. "You're not in a position to negotiate." 5 minutes. Isabella stood to his left, gun steady. Alina stood to his right, her own weapon aimed directly at her sister's head. The tension was unbearable. Mateo took one slow step forward. "If I give you this drive, you'll kill us all anyway." Patricia tilted her head, almost amused. "Perhaps, but your grandmother doesn't have to die. Make your choice." Mateo made the call. He tossed the drive across the snow. It landed at Patricia's feet. One of her men quickly picked it up and checked it. Patricia smiled. "Good boy." She nodded to the man on the phone. The gun moved away from Sofia's head, but the relief lasted only a second. Patricia looked back at Mateo, her eyes turning ice cold. Unfortunately, loose ends must be tied. Gunfire erupted. Mateo dove behind a parked car as bullets shattered the snow around him. Isabella returned fire. Alina screamed in rage and shot at Patricia, but her sister had already slipped back into the armored SUV. The vehicle sped away into the storm, taking the drive with it. Mateo lay in the snow, breathing hard. They had lost the ledger, but his grandmother was alive. For now, they drove through the night toward a new safe house outside Zurich. Mateo sat in silence, staring at his hands. Isabella finally spoke. "We still have a copy. The archivist made a backup before we left." Mateo looked up. "But she has the original. She'll start selling everything soon." Alina, sitting in the back seat with a bleeding arm, laughed bitterly. "You still don't understand, do you? Patricia doesn't just want the money. She wants to destroy your grandmother's legacy completely. She wants the world to believe Sofia was never the true heir." Mateo's face hardened. "Then we hit her where it hurts most." The next morning, they regrouped in a small apartment. The archivist sent them new information through a secure line. Patricia was planning something bigger. She wasn't just going to sell the remaining paintings as NFTs. She was preparing a grand final auction, the Reyes Collection, in Dubai in less than 72 hours. The biggest private art event of the year. Billionaires, oligarchs, shadow buyers. If she succeeded, the paintings would be scattered across the world forever, and Mateo's family name would be erased from history. Elena looked at Mateo. We have one chance. We go to Dubai. We expose her in front of the entire dark art world. We destroy her reputation publicly. Isabella shook her head. It's suicide. She'll be expecting us. Mateo stood up slowly, his eyes burning with cold determination. She took everything from my family. She put a gun to my grandmother's head. Now I'm going to take everything from her. The game had entered its final phase. Patricia had the original ledger. She had the paintings. She had the power. But Mateo had something more dangerous. Pure, unbreakable rage. And two women who wanted Patricia dead as much as he did. Dubai was waiting. A city of glass, gold, and lies. In 3 days, either Patricia Holloway would complete her masterpiece, or Mateo Reyes would burn her entire empire to the ground. The reckoning had begun.